Cohabitating, moving in together, shacking up, whatever you call it. You know what? Couples who live together before getting married, they are used to be more likely to get divorced. Well, not anymore. A new study says the odds are 50-50 that couples who live together before marriage will stay together. We'll stay together for at least 15 years anyway. Nina Atwood is a therapist and relation expert, joins us now. Okay, so what changed? Because before it was like, don't live together before you get married, you're going to get divorced. And now that's not the case.
Well, it used to be that if you think about a pie of couples, it was a very small slice of the pie, the number of people who live together.
Right.
Now it's 60% of couples. So when you have a huge population of people, it makes sense that you're not going to see that correlation between living together and marriage not making it that you used to see.
All right, but let's maybe talk about attitudes too, because commitment has got to come into, I guess, all of this. How committed couples are. I mean, I don't know if that's changing.
Well, attitudes toward getting married and not living together have definitely changed. Of course, it's considered far more acceptable.
Right.
But commitment is a huge issue because what they found is that if couples live together without being committed, and I mean on the path to marriage,
like not engaged.
No, as in I was going the other way. I was going to say the ones who are engaged have a far greater likelihood of a successful marriage if they're engaged before they live together. But if they're not so much.
Because they've already got that, they're living together with that knowledge that, you know, we're doing this.
Yeah, because they're on the same page. They know that this is a step toward marriage. They're a real couple. They're not just shacking up to save rent money.
Sure.
And I think that's the problem when you get couples that move in together just to save money and they don't have that declaration of commitment. Then their relationship is on shaky ground. And if you're wobbling before you move in together, you're going to fall down later.
That is not such good news then as you move forward toward the marriage. All right, let's talk about education too, because that as well can be a factor in all this according to the study. Let's look at some of the numbers. The study found that women and men with bachelor's degrees were more likely to delay marriage, but also more likely to eventually get married and then stay married for at least 20 years. So the education is making a difference as well.
It does make a difference. So if your kids are talking about living together, make sure they finish school first. I guess is the moral of that story.
All right.
So, yeah, there just seems to be a correlation between more education, more likely to be stable.
Yeah.
If you're moving in together, it's because you know you're headed toward marriage.
All right, so let's say that this young couple comes into your office and they say, Nina, what do we do? Should we move in together? What do you say?
Well, the first thing I'm going to do is say, are you on the same page? Is this a step toward marriage? And I'm going to be looking to see if one of them is gung-ho, it's a step toward marriage, and the other one's kind of like, well, sure, yeah, it's a step.
That would be a red
Then
flag.
I'm going to say, whoa, I don't think you're on the same page yet, and so you're really setting yourself up for a future disaster.
Okay, so what if you're the parent, though? I mean, I'm in 20 years, if Emmy and Lily come to me and say, Mom, we're moving in, I don't know. Do I say, okay, girls, I support you, or what do I do, or say, don't do it?
Well, this study is fairly alarming to parents because it's basically saying we can no longer preach to you that you'll necessarily fail because you live together. But I think as a parent, what you can do, you can't stop couples from doing what they want to do. It's like a train going downhill.
Sure.
You can't stop it. But what you can do is you can say, okay, you're thinking about living together. Well, why don't you invite them over? Let's all sit down and talk. And then you can be the catalyst by asking some questions. So tell me, is this a step toward marriage? And of course, you're going to be looking right at the guy when you're asking that question, because if he hasn't proposed yet and he's not on the path to proposing, you know that there's something up there. And by asking those questions, you can kind of shake things up. And sometimes it will shake loose, and then maybe they'll say, well, wait a minute, maybe we're not ready.
Oh, it just all seems so overwhelming. But you've even written a book. I mean, you have done your research on all this and helping make those decisions along the way.
Yes. Temptations of the Single Girl is for women who want to make sure that they are not hooking up with the guy who's not going to make a commitment.
Something to read before you say yes or whatever it is down the line, what you're going to do. Nina, we appreciate it. Thank you. Thanks for coming in.
You bet.